Hello, and let's continue to looking on some options in standard terrain. So we go ahead, create and go edit object. And inside this terrain, one thing you notice when now it's creating, it's look a little bit different probably from what you have it in its reason because I modify the options. Mostly it is our degrees. And if you notice, I have a 2, 2, 1, 50 and the rest on the 10. What it does, it's creating different looking terrain. Again, if you want it, you can always reset to normal or just modify in a way you like it. Okay, so right here we have a couple options, and one what I want to look right now, it is on use functions or add filter altitude. And actually with the filter altitude you can create very nice effect. Let open, and you notice it's very nice, very clean menu, straightforward. We have an altitude filter, and we have a preview how the filter will affect our terrain before it does apply to the terrain itself. You can change filter by double time clicking. It will open preset already terrains if you want it, or you can right click and go to edit filter, and in these options you can modify. The couple things I want to show you right now when we're modifying. This is our lowest point. This is our highest point. It's not necessary meaning it is edge in its center. It's a depend where the highest point. Example, let's say I want to have a rough wall. So you can right here see we increase our high point to this, and where the lows become from this, it will drop down. Or for example, we'll say I want to go this way. So now we have it same on the lowest point will going lower, and when before highest was on the middle, now it's jumping up very straight. So right here we had very low and the point is jump. How I said before, it's not necessary, it can be meaning on the middle of your terrain it was calculating against the highest point on your terrain. So if you have it more, you will have it another one, and currently I have it only one highest point. So let's close this one, and let's say as example, let's create rice field. Somebody was asking how I can create it, and we'll go just select fortification. Okay, next you can see how it's already applied to our filter. I'm right click and I go to edit filter, and what I'm going to do is just drop those ones a little bit more down. Again, you can always increase your terrain filter so you have a better look on the dot where our points will be located. So let's create this a little bit here, just maybe. Okay, same as right here, we'll create one more. Okay, just slightly higher. So for our rice fields. Okay, and this one will just, again, this is represent higher points. So we'll click OK. You notice it's applying preview, and it's very useful tool to preview before you apply filter to your terrain. So here we have our kind of rice fields. Let's click OK on this point. We'll go move main camera a little bit. Okay. Let's set our preview. So we render to screen. And here we have our terrain done. Of course, to finish, you can modify a couple of things. We can skew a little bit more down. As well, if you want to work on materials, you always can add layer. Let's say liquid, channel water. Okay, I'm going to enable highlighter for this so I can see how it will apply to us. Okay, go to environment, and we'll go all the way to the top so it's covered. And as well, you can notice something maybe go on top and bottom, so we'll just clip those ranges. Okay, and you can that way you can locate water material on your terrain. Anyway, and here's your kind of rice fields you can create that way. Okay, so let's create another terrain right now. And again, this is what we done by using altitude filters. Let's next work on a add function. And this we have some presets, but with adding additional functions, you can totally change and modify how your terrain is. Look, same, you have a function, and if you double time click, it will open preset where you can select which one you want. You can select from altitudes, fractal, or whatever. So let's select blur. We'll click OK. Also, we have a scale. This is will be going scale parametric. It's what we said before. And altitude, how high you want those effects. So let's set as default right now. We'll click OK again. And now you notice how it was applying to our terrain before. By using this filter, we achieve total different terrain look. Again, you see how sometime on the edge right here they're going away. Remember, this is when you start using zero edge. So if you click, it will smooth out those edges and make terrain more blend in together. Okay, when we enter, here's our terrain that we just created by adding filter. So let's look closer on this add filter. So you notice when we open, we still have an add filter what we apply in our window. So if we click, go to edit function, at that point we'll bring function editor to our screen. And currently in this function editor, let me just slightly modify so we can fit in our windows. We can preview. Okay. Here we have a simple fractal. You can change, modify, or add any additional nodes. So if you want it, you can add a blender, connect them together. Okay. In next tutorials, we'll look how we can apply different type terrain by adding multiple nodes and mixing them together, and what result is our giving to us. As well, if you have more questions about what nodes and what function editor does, we have a series of tutorials on our website about function editor. Please check them. There in a depth, we're going through all nodes of function editor and explain what each of them does. But again, we have it here. Let's go switch to the terrain fractal for this. We'll go increase meta scale. Okay, and maybe pop up just slightly roughness and gain. Okay, our blender set on the middle. Let's click OK. And at this point, if we apply, you see how it will change because we just modified our function, and that is both applied to our preset. As well, if we increase scale or decreasing, let's put it 1, for example, the scale of all function will obviously reduce against the parametric, against the terrain at size. So let's go increase to 5, what we have it before. Apply it one more time. Again, you notice in some cases when you applied the terrain will merge with what you had before. So let's go ahead and undo our changes. And this undo was nicely added in our view, so we can go back. Currently it's up to, there's 5 steps we can go back. So let's go here. And one thing we still have at 5. If we increase or decrease amplitude, obviously it will affect how high or how much that function will affect our terrain that we preview. So all this rocks is much higher again. And if we're going decreasing all the way down, it will affect a little bit less on higher altitude. This is very, very self-explanatory. The sliders and effect. Let's look on also on our filter. Okay, let's go back a little bit. So we can go to this terrain. And now before we're applying, we go to edit our terrain. And let's just say go all the way this way and apply. Okay. In this case, you will notice how it's applied to all piece of terrain we have it. It doesn't take a highest points because we add increasing through all height to all our filter applying on terrain. So let's go back. Okay, we'll go here, we go to edit filter, and opposite we want to effect less. And you can see by changing profile of our functions, we change how the function will apply to all our terrain and which level it will apply more and which is kind of less affected. Okay, couple things about rest equalize. It's happened sometimes when you develop your value maybe going out of range because terrain going in the VU units from 0 to 100, and if you're going out of range by clicking on equalize, the terrain will be resampled to fit those properly values. Okay, so well, let's go back right now again, and by modifying terrains, you can achieve quite a bit interesting effects for your terrain. One thing on the end I want to show you, you always, if you want to apply materials, you can go ahead, copy function from this. Okay, open material, let's click on mixed material, we paste function that we just use it, and you can see how it will apply to materials. Let's go to object parametric, let's say everything to this point, and you can pass those functions and modify them through all Vue application, which is make application itself, it's very robust, so it's interchangeable function, meta nodes and other between shape of terrains, distribution of materials, and the other ones, lightings and other stuff. Okay, thank you for watching this tutorial, and next one we'll look on a procedural terrain.